Welcome back to the Watchtime channel. Today, the new Billy Woods album. I'm not saying the title. I don't feel comfortable saying it. We'll get into that. No wheel, and it's just me today. It's a new release. Yeah, getting right to it. This is my most anticipated album of the year by far. I've been big into Billy Woods since, at this point, probably 2019. Hopped on the bandwagon with Hiding Places, and then I've fallen in love with everything since. Went back through the catalog all the way to History Will Absolve Me. Absolutely loved it, and I think he's just on an absolute tear this decade, at least so far. I mean, since 2020 alone, he's delivered Brass with More Mother, the amazing, incredible Aethiopes, which I have as my album of the decade currently. That same year, we got Church. The year following, we got Maps, which is kind of a record that put him on a different kind of popularity level, made him a little bit more known in the hip hop scene. And then we also got the brilliant Diabetic Test Strips in 2023 as well. But yeah, that leads us all the way to this point with this new record here. I'm not going to say the title of it. Given the history of it, it seems like it is a racial slur as well as the name of the actual doll itself and all the history behind that. So I'm not comfortable saying it. I won't say it. It's in the title. You know the name of the album, obviously. But yeah, this is looking to be an incredibly dense record. It is 52 minutes long, which is a lot longer than a lot of his stuff recently. I think this is the longest since Known Unknowns from his solo work or Diabetic Test Strips with Arm & Hammer. So there's me a long one. The cast looks stacked, producers and featured artists. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to be insane. I have heard Misery and I've heard Black Zombie as the two singles. All right, first track, Jump Scare with Steel Tip Dove on production.
Ragdoll playing dead, rabbit dog in the yard, car won't start, it's bees in her head. Daddy long legs stride you home like Cecil Rose. Death poems folded in breast pocket my bed clothes. It's a dark road, but ain't no accidents, no coincidences, it's all praxis.
Jesus.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the natives work the pits, and you don't eat the fish. One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the planes and ships sit. It's a grip. The vaccinations was TB and whooping cough, looping thoughts. Morose villagers queuing the sun and Ouroboros. The dead drift like empty boats. My people fled to the mountains, but it's nowhere the white man won't go. One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the natives work the pits, and you don't eat the shit. One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the planes and ships sit.
This is going so many different
The English
places.
language is violence. I hot-wired it. I got a hold of the master's tools. It got dialed in. I'm
Oh my
downwind
God.
with the drop. I'm Deng Xiaoping, smoking oil in the wok. I'm caught. History is a snare, struggle to grow ever more taught. On my deathbed, chuckling about all that time I bought. Afrofuturist, accurate legend on cinder blocks. But I bet if you toggle the wiper's door, 4 doors locked, it'll still be like voila.
A horrid sight. The blackest no.
All right, that was Jump Scare. I missed him so much. His intros are insane on just how insanely layered and dense all of this stuff is. Steel Tip Dove on production, first off, incredible. I love the mix of different samples and things playing. It's like the song has 3 different sections as we're going through here. Immediately, first lines of the album, Ragdoll playing Dead Rabbit Dog in the Yard, like addressing the ragdoll caricature character that we see on the album title. Man, these verses are fantastic. I love the chorus of like the imagery of a tarmac laying through native land. The vaccinations with TB and whooping cough line was fantastic. That beginning of verse 3, English language is violence. I hotwired it. I got hold of the master's tools and got dialed in, is incredible. Oh, that whole third verse is amazing. And then the outro kind of referencing the the doll again, since that was a creation of Florence K. Upton's like childhood book series, and this doll was kind of like used as a thing that was passed down through a lot of generations of people, not only in America, but actually a lot in England and areas over there. If you have Norwegian grandparents, you've probably seen the caricature of this somewhere. I know I have Norwegian grandparents and I've seen it in their house, and I'm like always just like, why is nobody going crazy about like that thing sitting on the thing on the mantle? But yeah, referencing the blackest gnome, because it was kind of a caricature of like, it's so dehumanizing in the fact that it's not even like hands and feet on a lot of it. It is like paws and things like that. But yeah, that's a lot for an intro. I'm going to try not to like dig into things too much. I want the music to hit me, but like this is kind of what his music does to me. So fantastic start. Okay. Star 87, Conductor Williams production.
Jumped over, what is it? The something. Conductor ran away with the spoon. Then the cow jumped over the moon. Hey man, these days I believe it. Dumb luck if they ask me how, but go ahead and cash me out. You already know I need mine now. When my father came home, they slaughtered a cow. I come home, the house falling down. Fright, rigor mortis on the cordless mic like in memoriam. Cite my sources, anti-pop consortium, cold flow in every line. Comments on the racism pouring in.
Wow.
This is how I win. Charged up so much and dark in my skin. I'm the one, I'm the beginning and the end. I'm the glowing sky burning air sinners in the wind. I ground niggas down like Coach Tibbs. Phone ring off the hook. They wanna know where the bodies is hid. Conductor. Misshapen pigs. Wander the countryside. Who the hell is Honey?
Wow. Okay. That conductor beat is just evil. I love how his tag is like all warbled too. It's not just the normal producer tag. Yeah, classic, just straight verse, no chorus or anything. Fantastic. I love that sequence where it reads up to the it goes all the way up to that accordion punchline. Is just fantastic. Man. Yeah, based off of like Misery and Black Zombie, there is definitely like a horror element to a lot of this, but the first two tracks as well, terrifying. Like that outro with like the different samples layered over top of each other, everything's just kind of like spinning around you. It's just like so potent. Yeah, fantastic. All right, Misery, track 3.
Re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens in 50 said he. Re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens in 50 said he. #1 fan like Misery, and Misery love company. And with them titties, she never unaccompanied. And she not going home in a pumpkin. I'm trying to guess if she taking me home or platonic hug and kiss to burn my cheek. All 8 stops on the ACE. I wanna lay together, pass the weed, tangle legs, arms, feet, tangle sheets, rings and bangles, whispered strangle me, big trees. We spoon in the canopy. I'm in her green room, candidly making small talk with the man. Her girlfriend's in the band and she's not a fan of me. If it's a tight squeeze, Brody, you the one, thumb and please believe. I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens in 50 said I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens in 50 said I re-up on bad dreams.
Yo, she the one I have to have.
All right, pause in there. Misery is fantastic. Kenny's beat on this is so good. I love the drums especially. They kind of have this like falling over themselves quality, and Billy Woods just like perfectly goes over it. It's fantastic. Yeah, a lot of this album so far is like kind of tapping into like obviously we have the children's story that goes along with the doll, but we also have like Misery here, I think is a Stephen King short story as well. But even taking this song and like having this kind of fling that is almost a supernatural kind of, not vampire, but like some kind of creature that he is just like lusting over, just adds the kind of scary, real but also storybook kind of thing that's going on so far. So really fantastic. Okay. Black Christmas, we got Sadhu Gold on production and Bruiser Wolf featuring.
the shit you see. My nigga, nightmares didn't come during dreams. Fiends is the zombies, opening scene armed robberies, twin 15 carbon copies, autopsies. Gamblers, scammers, grandmas in pajamas. Niggas home from the slammer, trying to get a hold of the hammer. Funds is tight when the breadwinner get natural life, or hit with the RICO for packaging wife. If you can pay the rent, direct threats at people trying to evict. This flick, as real as it gets, depicting it, after living it, is sickening. Bruiser.
You walked a long way, cause the shelter too crazy. You gotta test the yay, nowadays that shit crazy. Even the weed spray, they paying more, you couldn't pay me. Neighbors just got evicted. How you gonna put folks out a week before Christmas and they got kids? Them people sick in their head, it's sickening. Everything niggas got tossed in the street, crying kids, is wicked. Took what they could fit in a cousin whip in 2 trips, the rest just sit. Nobody wants to be the first, but it's just sit. Eventually people start picking, sifting through. Not proud, but eventually I was with them too. Pots and pans for the kitchen, few old clothes. My kids is little, they won't know the difference. It's gnawing doubt. Dreams where teeth keep falling out and they insisting it's hamburger meat, but it tastes type foul. Didn't want the doctor to turn, I knew it'd be something awful on the ultrasound. Sat up in my sleep, stifling the scream. That rent got me feeling I'm fit to drown. Storm drains full of clowns, tent cities on the edge of town. Squeaky wheel on the sharpened cart so you know when they coming around. What you took you can't give back now. Nah, they on you like hounds.
Wow. All right, I'm just going to pause there. That was phenomenal. Okay, Bruiser Wolf did amazing, first off. The Sadu Gold beat is incredible as well. This kind of like scary sounding piano. Not a Meet the Grams type thing, but almost. But Bruiser Wolf did incredible. I love his just like over accentuation of everything he does. I just love that from him. Because he can be seen as kind of like a goofy rapper, but like his actual lyricism in here is really potent. I love it. Connecting the end with like the horror of if you can pay the rent, and nodding to like the kind of horror thriller aspect of this. And then Billy Wood's really just running with that concept for the whole verse. I didn't understand the Black Christmas line or the Black Christmas title until halfway through that verse, where it's like evicting kids or evicting people a week before Christmas, and just like how everybody around them is also in the same economic situation. So everybody's kind of taking the stuff that they don't have time to move away. And just the constant cycle of that. It's insane. And the real horrors of real life, and the kind of silent horrors that you don't really think about in your everyday, where people do get evicted and they don't have the means to take their stuff with them. So it just gets spread around to other people who are almost in the same situation, where it could be them getting evicted next. Man, the imagery is so potent on this, and it feels like a horror movie the way he's kind of laying it out, but these are real life things. That is phenomenal. Fantastic song. All right, Waterproof Mascara, Preservation on the beat. Let's go. Preservation's about to do something crazy. I can feel it.
Turn it up. Watch my mother cry from the top of the stairs, scared.
This is the beat.
Through the walls, I covered my ears, half hoping you know who would die. Then he did. Surprise! Careful what you wish for, might just get that shit. Mom showed us where she kept the passports in. The king's dead and your uncles are not our friends. Don't trust anyone. Sometimes it's all you can do not to do it, like Sylvia Plath. My house full of gas, my kids cry then laugh right after. Psychopaths. I watched the slave cry for his master, waiting for him to break kayfabe. Poor bastard just sat there, supper untouched. We had me paralyzed, hit it again off automatic. Forging firewood with a baby crying in the forest. Don't you go looking for it, just write how the white girl like her porridge. Get scalded, scoffing out the wrong plate. I know you wasn't thinking it was you. We had me paralyzed, thinking it was you. Did it again off automatic.
Okay. Preservation is insane for that. That's an insanely uncomfortable beat and an uncomfortable song. The message is portrayed. I love the callback to Houthien here, kind of flipping that line into an even more kind of uncomfortable and depressing context. I'm going to need to listen to this one a lot more. I did not... That was like a visceral kind of reaction. I tried to catch things and I could not, but wow, that was something else. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'll have more thoughts on that later. Counterclockwise, Alchemist on production.
2 milligrams of oral triazolame every 7 hours induces a safe sleep state and a minimal metabolic rate. Might be needed on the other side.
I didn't get but a little bit, but still dreamt. After I wake up again. It's not easy to bend time how I do it. I had the knack, I suppose, need full of fluid. She had me running back X's and O's. She know what she doing. Daylight crack under curtains. We lay spooning, bodies wrapped up, cups swollen belly. A serpent moving counterclockwise. Scalding water in the wash basin, fog. The mirror start my day, but the other place still feel realer. Turn the phrase just a bit. I got power steering. The woods gave way to a clearing where I knew they were waiting for my appearance with Nas ancient, faceless, but I know who they are.
And they created a fictitious person described previously as an Al-Qaeda resident leader and so on, show and passed
for
that
17 straight days. They cycled through each one of these techniques.
We're giving permission to torture him, assuming these facts are true.
Confined spaces.
In fact, the CIA knew they weren't
detention
true, and as I
hands.
said
We're gonna
earlier,
keep going. I wanna see where this goes.
locked together so they can't move.
Okay, didn't really go anywhere. Counterclockwise. That beat is fantastic from Alchemist. Chilling as the rest of this record has been so far. Yeah, there's just like a paranoia in this song, which really gets expanded upon in the outro, kind of CIA samples, it seems. I'm just trying to read into it. It seems like it's captured from an audio of like one of the first advanced interrogation kind of victims after 9/11. Yeah, there is a paranoia in this song that I cannot shake. Man, okay, that one was fantastic. All right, Corinthians, we got Despot on a feature and LP on production.
Scarecrow in the fair, watching the spectacle. It's still no dessert till you finish your vegetables. Circumspect, resurrect him in the vestibule of the building where they killed him. I'm true and living. Fuck what they telling me. Hungry eyes in the mirror like Corinthians. Uncanny Valley AI hit him with the heads, he screaming, carry, my vision swim. Girlfriend, whenever you're around, your light dims. 2 cents. If it's on sight, say less. Where I see it, it ain't no past tense. Little kid, tiny desk, itty bitty violins, big head, blue lips. If you never came back from the dead, can't tell me shit. 12 billion USD hovering over the Gaza Strip. You don't want to know what it costs to live, what it costs to hide behind eyelids. When your back turned, secret cannibals lick their lips. Pick up weaving through dead cars, surface to air, camouflage in the truck bed. On guard, best believe them crackers won't make it to Mars. Mars, 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 Mars.
I ain't never asked to be here, so when I decide
Oh my God, LP.
devils in the details rush to either side of me. Where we going all depends what I pretended I believe. Well, I ain't been myself lately, least I ain't been under you. Who wasted all the time you had talking about what you about to do. When you finally knock on heaven's door, they ain't expecting you. And if you don't get the fuck off the stoop right now, they gonna shoot. Same old song, I sing it one more time on the day you're gone, and nobody gon' cry for you. Take what's yours and I make it all mine till the money's so long, like it's saying bye-bye to you. They ain't get far without an arm and a leg, and then the beast below the street showed up and told them they dead. They need to meet me like they need a fucking hole in the head, and if you leave it up to me, that be what all of them get.
Fuck what they telling you.
的 daggers in their loft 效忠全身头 Their teeth and the yacht are white and glistening 全是白丽丽的牌 They're all cannibals 这就是吃人的家伙
Wow. Okay. That's the first masterpiece I'm giving out. Okay. LP. That production was insane. This seems like a predecessor to a lot of the stuff that Aethiopes was doing because there is an LP beat and there is a Despot feature. Despot even references his verse from Versailles on here and kind of flips it a little bit, which is great. This is just a quick editor's note. Stepping in, you'll hear me again later probably. Yeah, I had a lot of stuff going through my head because there was a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about with this song and a lot of emotions and feelings and things, and it came out kind of jumbled. So I'm just going to try to recount my feelings here now that I've listened to the record a couple more times. And yeah, I can put it in a bit more of a easy to hear format and not just a jumble of words that I was kind of spewing off. So yeah, incredible song. I think Woods' verse is just one of the strongest on the record. Obviously, the big line that stands out is the 12 billion USD hovering over the Gaza Strip. You don't want to know what it costs to live, what it costs to hide behind eyelids. Just an incredible line. Not only is he kind of not reusing, but revamping the spider hole line of the 4 million USD hovering over some mud huts. It's nuts. That was in 2019, and then getting that to current day, and it's 12 billion USD over the Gaza Strip. Our taxpayer money, all of us in the U.S., when we pay our taxes, we are funding bombs that go over to bomb children. We're, sending over bunker buster missiles to a country who's using them on tent encampments constantly. And just the line following it up of what it costs to hide behind eyelids, just like this refusal to see the truth and just deal with the harsh reality. Whether it's like there is a certain sector of America who is privileged enough where they don't need to look at this, they don't need to care about it. And that side of the population of a colonizing force that carries over to even 250 years into our settler colonial project in the US, but also just the politicians who are intentionally just waving this away. Phenomenal verse. The imagery is so chilling, especially at that end with that surface to air camouflage passage that he goes through. The best believe them crackers won't make it to Mars line is fantastic. Just being like, once these countries are done colonizing other areas and extracting resources and culture and all these things, like they're not going to stop there. They want to colonize Mars. They want to colonize the whole solar system. It's this act of capitalism in its final stage of we're in a system where we're fighting for unlimited profit in a world with finite resources, and we're going to find every single way we can to extract as much profit as we possibly can with whatever we have in front of us. We'll invent new ways to extract profit. It's this terrifying just overview of what it feels like in current day empire right now, with all of these things kind of floating around us. And the LP beat just does such a good job at backing that intensity up. It feels cinematic, and it feels like there's drones hovering over us in this beat. It's just incredible. Despot picks up the energy incredibly well for his verse as well. I think he does a fantastic job, and taking his lines on Versailles from Aethiopes and updating it again, much like Billy Woods was doing with his line earlier in his verse, is incredible as well. And then to top it all off, this Chinese excerpt from a short story from pre-revolutionary China, where it was a very hierarchical society and very brutal in that sense, talking about how these rulers, these capitalists, these whatever, like they are almost akin to cannibals in the way that they take and take and take and take. They are eating the poor quite literally. And yeah, just relating all that to the global capitalism stuff that we talked about earlier. It's a pretty easy to follow track because I think it is emotionally resonant to everybody right now. And that makes it just bubbles up something inside of you. It's a rage. It's an undying feeling of like, how can I do anything to help this? And it's just this kind of like need to want to release this horrible energy that builds up in us. So it's phenomenal. this is the Billy Woods magic, where like this imagery is so incredibly potent that it immediately puts me in the place that he's trying to get, and it's extremely uncomfortable. But life right now is uncomfortable, and it feels like it hits that mark incredibly well. Yeah, wow. I love how confrontational a lot of this is too. Like, oh man, it's insane. All right, Pitchforks and Halos, track 8. Another Kenny Segal production. Oh.
Winding road, carnival glow behind us, pitchforks and halos light the way home. Sometimes you gotta pop in and remind them. Dead zone daps at the merch table, vinyl signing, comatose reclaiming my time, and thank you for rewinding. In advance, Caliban on Caribbean island, barefoot in the water, eyeing that horizon in a b-boy stance. Their time is over.
Saxophone.
Everything is timing. Their time is over and they know it. That's why they wildin'. Right up until the last second, them idiots really thought I was just rhyming. The stern words of dead revolutionaries who were wrong. The blurred word of all them centuries. I wonder where the time gone. I wonder where the time gone. The hood of the time machine is still warm. People make time for the things they really want.
Fantastic. Kenny's beat here is insane. I love the saxophone that just feels like it's like rusting out as he's playing it. Yeah, that's an incredible beat. Those keys are chilling. Again, all of this feels like a thriller kind of horror experience, and it's really fitting well with the lyricism here. Oh, his verses are so good. I can't even pick out things because like these are so layered. I am understanding the feelings and emotions he's portraying, but it's really hard to pick out certain lines and be like, that's referring to this, and that. But I do love I take a book for the trip, short or long, the stirring words of dead revolutionaries who are wrong is fantastic. Oh, so good so far. Okay. All these worlds are yours. A Lucid Feature, and we got DJ Haram and Shabaka on production. This should be incredible.
Today I watched a man die in a hole from the comfort of my home. The drone flew real low, no rush, real slow. He curled up into himself, a fetus in the womb. Womb was the earth. Grenades landed at his feet, and he scrabbled in the dirt.
Got a question about this.
As close as we be to the furthest, closest we be to the furthest planet.
I'll do it one more time.
In the triplex hembotronic, assassinated misfit dial-up transmission, freak my impedance. Info kill game stage, in the box off the chart. Sub-bass loops suggested killing more cops. Sex tech fandom, doing it in the park. Fucking promise out my enemies. Headshot in the dark, mimetic glyph, holographic in the asylum of empire.
Oh.
Trench fire, silent weapons, body horror, private booth.
Oh my god.
My boot shine, my teeth shine, my collar loose. Big ball still, the bills damp to touch, den of tears. Deep state cryo thrills, oral worlds. Mutual ass eating, raw deluxe. War the temple, how much would you cost?
As close as we'll be to the furthest planet.
They strike at each other, hoping to find in greater pain a sedative.
Phenomenal. Oh my god. Okay. Shabaka does incredible on the opener. DJ Haram kind of like adds this insane glitchy stuff that she's just like really good at. I just still remember her trauma mic beat off of Diabetic Test Strips, and just how incredible that was. Flipping it here to this more cosmic spiritual jazz, glitchy hip hop, whatever this is. It's incredible. Billy Woods' only verse is just like describing watching a video of someone dying by drone warfare, in the kind of cadence of a storybook, like children's story, again relating it back to all the other things we've heard, and then a Lucid coming in and just doing this incredible. He's gotten so good at this. I loved Revelator last year because I feel like he really started honing in on his own voice, and really just like that presence is being backed up by production finally. And I feel like I'm really starting to understand his lyricism. I love the second part of his verse of kind of like this decay of just society in general, I think in the West especially, but we're seeing wars and genocides, and we're seeing a decay at home as well with technology coming in, and it's not doing any benefit to us. It's just surveillance and all these like weird horrors and things that nobody asks for with AI and all these different things. Yeah, just incredible mixture of things. I'm just trying to like sound coherent through all this, but the music does speak for itself a lot on this track, and it comes across fantastic. I think Lucid and Shabaka just make an incredible combo in all the things they've done together. So fantastic. All right. Next tracks is Maquiladoras, and we got El Divino on the feature. Producers, we got Saint Abdullah and Eomac.
No definite silence, the crumb faster than rabbits for the time slow-mo.
A clipping beat.
So sense of time through gang signs. Her fraternities pop, high pitch white noise, dog whistle, devil in the detail, death is God's riddle. No more can I kick it, kids kicking candles and vigil. Brand new pistol in the AR, ain't even 18 before than AR. Don't even know they gon' forget you when you gone, and won't hug your mother when she miss you.
Fanon said self-amputation, how all this is created. Irrational rationalizations of the races. The amputee says accepted, there's no escaping. Accept the prosthetics. They give ill-fitting limbs as gifts and insist you can only live in the present. Fanon dreamed of death every night in the desert, woke in hospital bed. CIA handlers gently pressing, wishing he died out there in the sand, bayoneted. You had the wrong answer to the right fucking question.
Oh my God.
Amputation, how you survive. You can't get away if you don't leave something behind. Trapped a housefly in an upside down pint glass and waited for it to die. It's still alive. Staring out compound eyes. 9 fingers can still tie. Keep extremities clear, the courthouse closed at 5. I warned you. Some took it on the arm, caught in a trap. Some came of their own accord, a piece already cut, neatly wrapped in butcher paper. Had to cut them off, I ain't had no option. They the type to come back with the choppers chopping.
Time is on my side, yes it is.
Masterpiece. That was incredible. I have not heard anything from El Divino before, so I was very interested to hear the verse, but really nice. It gave me more Aethiop's vibes again, where there is just like this, like there is no handlebars on anything. We are just diving deep into it. His verse is really fantastic. I need to dig into it more, obviously. But I loved his flow. I love all the connections and the wordplay. That just was really good. Billy Woods' verse is so incredible. There was a lot of stuff flowing through my head, and as I was explaining what I was trying to express with this song, it became not very cohesive or easy to follow. So I'm just going to do a recap of my thoughts here. Billy Woods' verse in this song is maybe my favorite on the record. I think it's one of his best ever. Kind of retelling the tragic last few days of Frantz Fanon, dying very early in his life, where he had like a bout of leukemia, and the only way he could get treatment is by going to the United States for treatment. And from there, he was kind of under CIA watch, and he died under their handling, technically. But he died a year before Algeria won their independence from colonial France. So it's just like this tragic tale of a revolutionary figure. Just like he's not even able to die with his people, liberating himself from the colonial oppressors. He's dying in the heart of empire under CIA watch because it's the only way he could possibly be treated for his leukemia. It's a terrifying and incredibly sad outcome. On top of this too, you have the motif of amputation throughout the entire verse, putting it in the colonial context of like colonizers taking anything they possibly can from the colonized populations, whether it's a physical arm or a leg, or it's the culture, it's the music, it's the food. We look at Israel and how they're trying to rebrand hummus as an Israeli invention and all these other things as Israeli inventions. So they're literally stealing the land, the culture, and even just the mental capacities of the colonized. There's a whole section in Wretched of the Earth of colonized peoples having this psychosis moment, and just the mental degradation of being under colonial rule. It strips you from your land and your people and your history, and the colonizers rewrite that and muddy it up. So yeah, overall, like all of that coming together into just like a incredibly tragic verse. I've found that this album is very, very hard to get through in one setting now, because these songs, especially in the middle here, are just so emotionally heavy. I definitely read Wretched of the Earth and just like the insanely potent context of that book, especially when it comes to like current day settler colonial countries like Israel and the genocide that they're doing. You can understand a lot of the modern day stuff like that through reading something like Wretched of the Earth. I haven't gotten to Black Skin, White Masks yet. That's something that's on my list. But relating all that to just like, I see these imagery of amputations and things, and just like the colonial oppressor taking everything they possibly can from you. The depravity of all of it is just so insane. And then the outro, where we kind of have this beautifully sung and orchestrated outro to it, is just, it's too much to bear almost. It's phenomenal. But again, these amputations and things, like all I can think of is Gaza and the horrifying things we've seen of that for the last 2 years. It is true horrors, and it is displaying itself like with no fear on this album, and it is coming across phenomenal. I love to dig into his wordplay and things, but the thing that is just hitting me on this album so far is just the pure emotional quality. Like, it is punching you in the face. It's something kind of like Moormother's been doing on her past 2 releases, where it's very spoken word and in your face, and it is very uncomfortable to listen to. This doesn't get quite to that extent, but it has the same kind of energy, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. So that was phenomenal. Fantastic. Okay. Track 11 is A Doll Full of Pins. We got Yolanda Watson for a feature, and then we got Jeff Markey and Messiah Music on production. The bassline is fantastic.
All summer in a day, I spent all summer digging myself out of grave. Can't run with the wolves when you're astray.
Oh.
Can't let anyone know you getting paid. Can't let them meet the connect. Niggas tried to yap me, I left town, I'm not tough. I came back when niggas got locked up. I know them niggas. Niggas is dumb. Niggas is dumb.
All full of pins. Come to me with your sins. List of names. Foes and friends. Again and again. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
It never ends. So I keep my head down. In my heart.
Jesus.
Might bottle it like white women tears. Might throttle to spit out this. Keep playing with me for real. Lines of hearses, they put the curse on the whole family, but it's hard not to feel like we got it the worstest. Be quiet if my soul was for purchase. I replied, unfortunately it's long gone, but might I interest you in something else? Wasn't no timeouts, we got welts from the belt. Kid got his wig split, gollywog by the window like he having a look. At night it's little feet. Retreat to my room, wedge debris between the door and the floor. At night it's tiny sharp teeth. kill all rats, yeah, but you gotta pay that fee. Trying to play slick, miss me with the woe is me. Just had the dough. Or the pipe, let that warm blow.
I don't know. I will take my pay as we go.
Masterpiece again. Oh my god, this beat is incredible, Jeff Markey. That saxophone is insane. This is maybe the best beat on the record so far. Yolanda Watson kills the chorus as well. I think it's a perfect follow-up to the last track. I want to hear those two in succession when I don't have to yap between every track. Oh, this is so good. Oh. The context where he puts the doll in the second verse and just realizing how it's kind of like back further in the cover and kind of covered by foliage and stuff, but it's like staring directly at you. And the way his verse kind of goes on that concept of these horrible things happening to black people in the US or abroad, there's always this little doll just sitting on this shelf looking like it's just staring into you. It's like this invisible sheath of racism and leftover colonial ideology just seeping into everything and just like not leaving. It's terrifying. Conceptually, this is so good as well because everything is kind of laid out as this children's story fairy tale, but it's just the most messed up thing you've ever heard. But this is also real life. We're talking about real events and real things. This is so incredible. I'm gonna stop there because I'm becoming speechless. All right. Gol Gotha featuring Messiah music.
Out of chars and ashes, like golden salamanders, the old years flee death.
Ghouls glued to the screen till he stopped moving. That's the thing about a chess piece. Gotta peep how he moving. Gotta play stupid. The king sleep in the doom ship. Hubris outside Rude Chris. Every bird get his wings clipped. Munitions flying in an empty sky. I saw a lion at the Bronx Zoo when I was 9. It's stuck in my mind. Sometimes feeling like the tiger on Shrine's cover. Cut them down in the line, brother. Fuselage shuddering as the plane climb. I look in their eyes when they get what they coveted. Fire in the sky, satellites plummeted. G showed me the whistle and said he not getting cut again. He got 213 months, but he never got cut again. Everything buffering, reality lag and junk. Sometimes barely recognize the people I love. It run hot, fast like arterial blood. I hear what they say in the light of day, but let's see what the night brings. The flap of ragged wings, black Thanos finger snaps, 5 gems on a 4-finger ring. There's no going back no more. We drew lots in the dark corridor to kill the king. Our sweat sting. Yeah, doggy, we need them things, hand speed like bing, bing, bing.
შეიძლება ცოდაც გახოს თვის ნამჭრელს ბოლოს მაინც იძლევს შურს თავის თმას იპოვოს მოკლავს ოჯახის წევრს და გაიქცი
Fantastic. Where do I start with this? Looks like the bridge and stuff is like a Georgian translation of some like mythological creature who can be like a woman who is like beautiful or monstrous. But like the tale is like you can try to sneak up to her and cut her hair, and if you do that, she turns into a normal person. But if you miss, then she kills every member of your family. That's insane. I don't know much about that, but again, it fits into the fairy tale kind of story theme that we were going on the whole record. This Messiah music beat is just haunted. It sounds like kind of a funeral dirge with those just like super sour instruments going, but it sounds phenomenal. Woods' verses here are fantastic. I love the sometimes feeling like the tiger on the Shrines cover line. Wow. I am running out of things to say. I need to like really dig into this more and more, but I think just all of this sounds like a horror movie, and it sounds very it's very dark, But I don't know. It fits into the feelings of current reality very, very, very well. And that's coming from someone that looks like me, not someone that looks like him. So I can only imagine the amount of just feelings and disgust and everything, especially knowing his background of his father helping liberate Zimbabwe from Rhodesian colonization and all of those things. Like seeing this kind of stuff nowadays with that as your childhood is just, man. All right, we're gonna keep going. Cold Sweat, the only producer I don't recognize. Ant. Oh, okay, an atmosphere. That makes sense.
Anything in the past. It must be nice for those who remember.
Let me tell you, my darlings, these are laughter lines.
I had my community sick when they unraveled. That time travelers still pick dark old Miller chick. Niggas asked, is this as dark as it get? Put a finger in my lips, shook my head. Hallway was barely lit, air thick with dread. Landlord trying to empty the building so he can make it flip. I'm the only one left, they mad, I'm stopping the grip. I'm glad the shoe on the other foot and it fit. Every slave dream of the day, get a hold of the whip. She didn't grin, I pay rent, they mad as shit. They trying to wake up, but it's the same N-word again and again with the same check. They tried threats, they offered me bread, begged me to talk sense. Like how you want this thing to end. And you said it. You said anything about hold on. Why would it end?
The piece of paper that he gave me, she brought a letter that he wrote when he was in the army. The signature's identical. There's only one thing that was different. I said he had a high voice. She said, oh, no, she said, had a deep voice like yours.
Fantastic. Ant's beat is like a wake-up call here. I just love how heavy the drums are and everything. It feels a lot more traditional than a lot of the stuff we've been getting. It goes over really well. Man, he has such a good presence on every single verse he writes. It's like he has this kind of conversational kind of thing he pulls out sometimes, and it's just really phenomenal. This whole verse is so incredibly well made, where he's kind of starting of having nightmares and waking up, and sometimes you have those dreams where you wake up in a dream of a dream, and you kind of keep doing that. Just incredibly entertaining. But then changing it to this narrative of like, my landlord is trying to flip the building because they're not parasitic enough. They need to like expel people so they can get even more of a profit when they flip a building to another landlord. And he's just like, no, I'm going to keep paying my rent. You can't do this yet because I'm still living here. And he's the last one, kind of flipping the tenant landlord relationship there, where he's kind of beholden to him because he will not leave. That's a phenomenal story. I really love that. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Black Zombie, track 14. Steel tip dub on production.
The person you're talking to is a very experienced person. There are not many things in the world that I don't know.
Staggering post-colonial African zombie state chase the people into the way. Bitter harvest where the house of traders are hawking is that oil gotta flow. Zombies go home to platters of prawn and escargot go. Moet Chandon bottles bust against the bows of boats. Zombies fucking on hoes, hoes are zombies too though. New mothers struggle while the zombies suckle like baby goats. Newborns in the bush, head stove in with stones. Spin slower, Pan-African money, folder, Arab money, Jew money. Keep new money somewhere sunny, it can't get frozen. Chinese funny, but keep everything in USD. We really know them. We really know them. We really know them. Zombie.
So you are accountable.
Zombie.
I'm not accountable, but I know what I'm doing. Because it's not in Libya.
Wow. Yeah, that's phenomenal. It's a masterpiece. This was my favorite of the two singles, just because of how insanely layered and like complex this thing is. Yeah, fully just like right off the bat, like we are talking about post-colonial Africa, and we're having this zombie kind of metaphor go through the entire track in a very, very, very cool way. I also love how he just does the word zombie in his verse because it catches your ear and you're able to kind of jump to the next thing. Oh my God. Yeah. Phenomenal. Just the fact of like, Obviously colonialism in Africa is gone, but it is at the behest of a lot of these European colonizers pulling out and intentionally implanting things here, and here, so that the resources that they've been plundering for all these years are still going to their pockets. I think the bitter harvest, whether House Atreides or Harkonnens, the oil got a flow line, is phenomenal. But yeah, all the violence and civil wars and craziness following the removal of colonial forces from Africa. Not all of them, obviously. You had South Africa, you had Rhodesia, you had Algeria, all these different ones that did kind of stay and eventually were toppled. But even just like all the little things where it's like we're keeping populations like zombies so we can keep that oil flowing. You can point to the DRC, the Congo, and all of the, not only oil, but resources for like electric cars and things, and the insane dangerous mines that these people have to go and harvest these resources from, children as well. Not to mention the insane political situation there between different groups in different states, just like going at each other constantly. All of this at the behest of the West, who intentionally tries to prop up these different things. You have companies like AFRICOM, USAID in general, all these different things to keep a kind of status quo. We're doing coups. We're putting in leaders that are more open to doing things with the West so we can get a cheaper oil reserves and things like this. I mean, Africa has tons of oil, but like they don't even use like any of it in their country. Like 70 or something % is exported to other nations. I also love kind of tying in the Chinese funding, but keep everything in USD because we really know them line. China's been kind of like entering into this kind of scene of Africa with the Belt and Road Initiative, and trying to kind of prop up Africa. There are issues with that because it can be seen as a post-colonial kind of project still. You are still kind of leveraging people because you're giving them things. That is a lot better than what the US is doing when they are just like not even really giving Africans anything. They are just taking and stealing. But even the rise of BRICS and everything, the USD, the dollar is what that is standard for trading. But BRICS is kind of showing up and that's changing as well. So it is an incredibly complex and like insane situation. And I'm not even like, I'm just breaking the surface on this. I have a lot more research I have to do on this because it is such a complicated matter. But bottom line, end of the day, Africa is still not able to really do what it wants, because if any of these leaders, I know Burkina Faso just had a coup of their government a couple years ago and instituted a leader who was talking about kind of starting the United States of Africa again. And if he is serious about that goal, he will probably be assassinated by Western figures. Like, we will get him because that is what we do. We cannot have unity in Africa because it hurts the bottom line of the entire West. And all this was portrayed in the track beautifully. It's such a messed up, insane situation that we are still going through in the 21st century. Colonialism is not really dead. It has just taken a new name under neocolonialism. And then you obviously relate that to settler colonial projects that are still existing, whether it is the US in decline or Israel doing a literal genocide. Yeah, sorry, that was a lot. I just went on a rambling sesh, but this track has so much in it, and I'm not even scratching the surface of it. And I think Billy Woods, for me, was kind of instrumental, one of the instrumental figures in my political education, because his verses and his words are so potent, and it makes me want to dive and learn about everything he's really talking about in these things. So sorry for this tangent, but his music has been a big kind of influence on me and how I do kind of develop politically. So tracks like this are incredibly instrumental in a discography full of tracks that do kind of have this unwavering politic to it. Phenomenal. It's a masterpiece. All right, back to the music. Make no mistake, Messiah Music again on production.
You won't see nobody like me for like 12 other years. You see what they do all the time. I'm a different level. You crazy? You can't even coach my type of style. They style is regular.
It's easy for you, but it's hard for me to forget the things we did because we had to eat. At least that's what we said when we did the D's. Not a whole lot left to say unless you say your name when they start to take that part. Hey, young fella, here go another story about back in the day. What's his name? Backed it out on Avenue A. Everybody backing away, stammering and stuttering. Make no mistake, we flying, but my foot fluttering on the brakes. My witness, I was squinting through a cloud of haze. Stutter, drop, dip, Euro step. When they say it's off beat, that's when I know I got him on skate. Needle in the arm, how he made his escape. This system will take your ancestral traditions and twist them indigenous mountain villages, make you coke face. Still living hand to mouth, make no mistake. I never liked the guy, but gave him some grace. Only to find out I was right the first time. I hide everything in the rhymes, that's why I need a dog on stage.
Man.
Make no mistake. What you should have did, just sit on your shoulder.
And she looks so real, the way her lips move like yours. You can have fun keeping secrets together.
Okay.
What kind? If we told, they wouldn't be secrets anymore.
That was ominous. Fantastic. Messiah Music has been killing it on production here. I like how it's not like, because a lot of the stuff he did on Church was just so incredibly woozy and weird. This feels like based off of all the production on this record, he's actually kind of a grounding force when we're not getting too into the insane stuff. We kind of come back with more traditional drums and stuff. Really, really enjoying that. Man, his verses are so good. He's just, as a writer, he is one of the best. He is the best rapper working right now already. But like, oh my God, I could just sit here and read the thing. I don't even need the music. It's so incredibly well written. All of the like kind of references, but then we go into like deep stuff immediately. Like the system will take your ancestral traditions and twist them. Yeah, phenomenal. All right, Born Alone, Kenny Segal.
Dead man shoes, double day to rock them. Slip them on smooth, they gon' fit, no
Kenny
problem,
Segal.
they always do. It's like they were made for your 2 feet. Kids laid out in the streets, no kicks, limbs askew. That's how they did my cousin in 86. Auntie saw it on the news. He had one on, one off. It was by the bare foot that she knew. Seen him coming like, hold on, wait. Ain't no way. Doctor, read the x-rays while you read the doctor's face. I rock a clean pair of socks every day, just in case. Born alone, die alone, no matter who your man's is. Hope he lived long enough to tell it to his grandkids. Born alone, die alone, no matter who your man's is. Shoemaking the L's. I'ma go back in time, tell that young boy, give him hell. If it's a fight, fight to the bell. Peep the 6 CD carousel, Scott tell Page in my eyes well. I wager he never realized he was talking to himself. Just as well. Back in the present, busting open a pack, fingers sticky with resin. I've heard it all before, like Russian peasants. That's that loop for you. That's what the loop do. It's true. History never repeats. It do rhyme though, trying to catch the loop. Loophole like a gun show. Dropped out of JUCO like it's Dunzo. Puto, let's get it out the mud. Son was barefoot by the end of the mud. You know how it always goes.
Fantastic. Kenny Segal's beat here is phenomenal. I love that we are getting these warm hits of keys and stuff, kind of contrasting those more scary tracks. It's working really well. He is the best. I'm not even like comprehending probably like 50% of any of these verses yet, but like the stuff I'm picking out is incredible. And if it's anything like Ethiops, where like I did spend time going over and over that again, so where I could kind of understand a lot of that album and it really showed how brilliant it was to me, a lot of that stuff is jumping out already here. I love this super, super dense wood stuff. Like Maps is still incredible. Church is amazing. And I love how his writing style is so different on all these records. He is rapping on a caliber that I have not heard from him yet on here. It is more attuned to like what he was doing on Diabetic Test Strips, but he has a lot more room to kind of play on this album. And all the concepts of stories and fairy tales and all these things kind of coming together into this like horror story kind of thing, but of real life events is just phenomenal. All right, Lead Paint Test. We got a Lucid and Cavalier on here, and we got Willie Green on production.
Mouth the cell, keep the devil out. Knives by the window, find you where you idle. A death rattle for the ages. 20-year cycle, breaking mirrors, shattered gazes. Empty framing, tending to a heart. Corner creeper, lights on hallway, still felt dark. Jigsaw parquet floor, detailed inlay for the preservation. The stories we know, the stories we tell. Nuclear family, nuclear fallout, still all is well.
God bless this sweet home, my beloved home. One stone crouched on dead horns.
Hold my breath if I walk past on a visit. They replastered the last crooked paths of the lizards. My uncle is the ghost of Thanksgiving past. First floor front room, Mars was the last to get the message. Now it's just tenants. Y'all wasn't here when the bandos was brick skeletons. Moss gathered like migrational change. Miguel pitching cool feathers kept breaking the drains. These ain't pains, these the regular aches. My mom slaved cause she said ownership was breaking the chains. Me and my father's main bond was that day we cursed our pigs at our gate. Have now walk past my own door, no welcome homes from the shivers. Forgiveness like the cold wind, old men remember.
Let the children come.
Half crushed by the car, dragged herself back and caterwauled. Father put out her misery on the kitchen floor. Mom said be proud of her, she made it home. These walls could talk, they might not after all we don't. One door been locked since when, why I never said, but we know. I left that house for 2 rooms, but it got a peephole. I ain't been back since then, but kids still see ghosts. I'm not my ancestors' dreams, they in the room wishing they could smoke and eat. Lean shadows, dust swirling in sunbeam, shadows reach for my son in dreams. Some shadows have deep, shadowing me. Crossing that threshold again, they gon' part like the sea. Philistines chopped down the avocado tree. I put my ear to the door, but all I could hear was my heartbeat. God bless this sweet home, my beloved home. 1, 2, 4 blue stone crouched on dead horn. God bless this sweet home.
All right, I'm gonna pause. Masterpiece. Oh my god, I'm almost speechless at this one. Oh my god, Willie Green. I mean, phenomenal work from Willie Green because he has a hand in all of these Billy Woods records, but having him be main production as far as I can tell on this song is phenomenal. I love how chilling those horns are. They bring a warmth, but the echo they bring is just like this empty space you can just feel. Lucid does fantastic over this beat. Cavalier is fantastic as well. Like I'm becoming a really big fan of Cavalier. His last 2 releases have been really fantastic. I think in terms of like best rappers and Backwoods Studios, I'm putting Cavalier at probably 3 below Lucid and Woods. He's really growing on me in a really fantastic way. This song is just crushing. I am speechless. It's I think this was the single they released this week, and yeah. Wow. Okay. We got one more. Dislocated, featuring Lucid again. We got Human Error Club on production. Okay. I don't even know who that is. I feel like I've heard that name before, but I don't know. So, we'll see.
Location, 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 I won't be located. Location, 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 I won't be located.
Someone else's dream. Out of reach, firekeeper for this life at least. Why away? Out of reach. Fire keeper for this life at least. Why away? Guide my feet. I'm entirely someone else's dream. Someone else's dream. The wealth received. My belts recede and expand. Not my bag, don't need to handle it. Feeling like a man and shit. Whatever that spell, psychic faults and damages. Leading with my hammer, bloody gauzy bandages. Lined the canvases, texture coarse, quicker sand to sift. I crew horse, standing in. Give my black ass the kiss. A standard win. The level's been leveled. The level.
In the forest, face painted, fingertips black with charcoal. I waited and waited. Anything I gave, I waited. Same as I got. Anything I caught, I killed it, I ate it. I can't be located. I'd rather carry it myself. I already paid the freightage. I played facing the bases. Miles Davis, I slept in the basement. False pride jotted on the paper. I can't be located. Shadows flit between leaves, blotches of green. Mosses cling to trees, I'm under the painting. You can't come in here with me, you can't come in here, you'll see. You can't come in here with me. I can't be located.
What a amazing outro. Like, oh, Lucid is so good. He has really grown on me on his past couple of releases, and I feel like I truly understand what he's kind of going for now. All of his words are so potent, and they just work so well over this instrumental. I love how kind of free jazz the drums get at times. All the emotion through Lucid's verse comes out in very few words, and it works so well. He is so unique in that regard, and he's a perfect contrast to Billy Wood's verse at the end here. Incredible. Like, the kind of face pixelated down, that whole section is fantastic. I love I played facing the bassist Miles Davis, kind of like, he doesn't, you know, if you've been to a Billy Wood show, he actually turns the lights down when he comes out. He tries to make the stage kind of dark so you can't really see his features or anything, and just kind of like letting the music speak for itself. You don't need the kind of persona attached to it, the person doing it. It's like the music speaks for itself, and that is the most important thing here. Yeah, album as a whole is phenomenal. I had high expectations, and I never know what he's going to do, and he always pulls something out of nowhere, and this is just incredible. Like, this meets my expectations and surpasses it. It is phenomenal. It's going to take a lot more listens for me to get my full thoughts on this. Obviously, this is a very dense listen. But as someone like Ethiopes is my album of the decade, this will probably give it a run for its money. I'm assuming once I kind of really dig into this thing, I'm excited to listen where I don't have to pause, because I think a lot of the transitions between these tracks, I think Maquiladora's into A Doll Full of Pins and Gol Gotha will like flow a lot better track to track when I don't have to pause and talk in between. But yeah, it's a dense listen, but it's one where it's like the emotional resonance of it like hits you like a truck. You might not understand everything that is going on in the insane lyrical context that he's really putting these things in. His verses are so phenomenal, and just the wordplay, the flow of it all, the word choice. But it hits you like a truck feeling wise. Like, but yeah, just the storybook theme of all of this coming together in every single track does relate back to something like that, whether it's a cadence that he's doing that makes it sound like kind of a nursery rhyme or something, or directly referencing other kind of children's books and things. All ties together perfectly, and it encapsulates the horrors of modern day life, now and in the past, and what we will be in the future. The blatant colonialism and genocides that are still happening, the insane situation of post-colonial Africa still trying to fight for a freedom from the Western capitalist just like onslaught that the entire world is feeling right now. Ethiopes is a heavy, dark record. This is even heavier and even darker in my opinion. I obviously need a lot more time to process it to say like which one I like the most, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Another insane entry into a discography that is already probably the strongest in hip hop I've seen. I want to just say like ever. I don't know. I don't think another artist in general in this decade has put out a better catalog of things. He has been consistently phenomenal, and no album is like another. This takes bits and pieces of like the Ethiops method, because we are talking about a lot of political, social, economic things in relation to Africa in the past and the future and all that kind of stuff. But we are getting the diabetic test strips, crazy jazz moments, and experimental things like that. It's a combination of everything, and the stacked producer and feature list is phenomenal as well. Yeah, I love how it kind of recontextualized the cover for me, and now that cover is just absolutely chilling. The gall to put a racial slur as the main title of the album just punches you in the face as well. I know when the album was announced, there was a lot of people just kind of saying the word off cuff. I was not trying to do that. It does not feel right, even if it's not like a necessarily racial slur. I'm not going to be like parading around saying it at all. But yeah, what a phenomenal record. I have a lot to think about. I have a lot to research. I have a lot to listen to, and that's why I love Billy Woods the most. He's one of my favorite artists ever, and he has done so much just for like my education in general, because it does make you want to go into a rabbit hole with a lot of this stuff, because the writing is that good and engaging, and it's phenomenal. I feel like I've just been rambling this video because there's so many things to touch on, and I'm not even like feel like I'm breaking the surface of a lot of it, but a truly incredible project on top of your already pretty much flawless decade. Yeah, fantastic. I cannot say enough good things. I will probably talk about this a lot more on our podcast, Boytime Podcast. You can find that in the description. I'll probably be talking about it on this coming week's episode, just because I'm sure I'll have more thoughts as I listen to it. But you'll definitely be hearing me talk about it at the end of the year list as well. So, but yeah, we'll be back with regularly scheduled videos, but I needed to kind of do this on camera as a first reaction to a Billy Woods record, because I haven't done that before. Yeah, phenomenal. I think that's it. So we've got 2 podcasts in the description. Check them out. I got a solo series on Phil Elver I'm going right now too, so if you want to dive into that at all, go for it. That's a lot more highly edited and stuff, and I'm just trying to flex creative muscles and have fun with that kind of video series. So check that out if you're interested. But if not, I think that's all I got. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of the album. I'm curious. I've been seeing people go crazy all over the place about it, so I'm sure it's just going to be praised as much as it can be, and it deserves to, because it's incredible. So yeah.